Wait, it is, right? Oh, shoot, I had a text message. Of course I did. Oh, there's that. Ugh. Oh, forget about that. Every time. Every. Hello. Hi, guys. I'm here. I told you guys, okay? I told you Tuesday I was gonna do a part two. I was getting into the storyline, okay? It's wholesome and beautiful and also sad. And I think we all need a little bit of that. Um, Stream manager. I don't want to see. We are getting into it. I loaded it up. I had to get to the same place. I looked around the house a little bit. What? What? Huh? Um. I can't. Oh, how rude. Slay though. No, guys. We are doing part two. I had to go through the house a little bit. I might have missed some things I did last because I didn't save the exact point. But here we are. We are continuing the storyline of Tell Me Why. But yeah. Anyway, also I just want to check in. How's everyone doing? It's been a rough. It's been rough. It's been rough. Yeah. Let's be positive today, guys. I think we could all really use it. Let's enjoy this wholesome game. Doing great. We're doing great. We got this, okay? You all got this. World is rough. Yeah. We're gonna vibe. We're gonna vibe. We're gonna enjoy it. I know. I have to clean my room this week. JJ owes me a cleaning call. I have to call. I have to call them when I'm cleaning. We're gonna clean together. But yeah, I really gotta clean. I'm gonna do it like each day. Like tomorrow, I have my art class tomorrow, so I'm just gonna focus on doing laundry. But not. I'm gonna clean my sheets and stuff Friday so that they're like fresh, you know. But uh trust me, I can dedicate a whole day to my wardrobe. Yeah, I suck. Thanks. But yeah, gonna clean, get things done. But yeah, we're vibing today, guys. I'll start playing the game once I'm 5 minutes in. I'm 3 minutes and 40 seconds in. So just sit tight. Just getting the vibe going, pumping up the energy, guys. Um, whoop whoop. Oh, also, yeah, JJ says we're gonna be like watching scary movies, and I won't reject that. So I'm gonna be making a nice list. I'm probably gonna ask you guys in Discord if there's anything you guys want to request for me to add to our list. Hell yeah. Yep, scary movies. Woo! Pump, pump, pump. Need some like disco music. I don't even know. I don't know what's going on with my hair right now. I have it in my like back pony, but my front hair isn't. I could like pull it back if I wanted to, but oh, my partners. We had a partner sleepover scheduled in like December, but it got canceled because JJ got COVID. But yeah, so finally rescheduling that. I heard yesterday was a hit though. Slay, love that. Mom was sending me awesome videos of Ruggy. I love it. Yeah. Oh, 5 minutes in. But we're playing a story game today. A beautiful, majestic little story game. It's not little. You left early? Oh. You know, that's fair. You have a literal child, so who's like 1. Makes sense. You wouldn't stay and party with them. But yeah. Alright. I'm gonna kick it off, but you guys know me. I'm always talking to chat. Because I can and I want to. And we're vibing. We're vibing today. Oh, look, it already went to it. How beautiful. We're vibing today, guys. Also, let me know if the audio to the game is too loud or too quiet. Once again, sorry if you see me repeat something I did yesterday. I mean, I'm in the house and I did like a little run around, but I might click on a few things I already clicked on. Not yesterday. Why did I say yesterday? It's called Tell Me Why. It's like a story game like this. Have you ever seen or heard of Life is Strange? That's kind of the category of the game. The category. Tell me why. But yeah. This is Tyler. His name's Tyler. Oh, you do? Slay. I didn't know you watched anyone play video games. I know you watched like vloggers or like yeah, I think that's all I know. He looks like a Tyler. And her name is, oh, I forgot. I already forgot her name. Oh, Allison. Thank you. Thank you. Beautiful. Oh, I keep doing that. Her name's Allison. They're twins. He is trans. And that's kind of what the story is based off of. Well, it's based off of their shitty mother, but but yeah.
I'm sure it's still there. I should
What?
check our bedroom upstairs.
Oh, I was like, huh? What's happening? So yeah. Oh, I forgot. I don't think there was anything. I think I checked over here last time too. Yeah, there's nothing. Okay. I went around the living room, so we don't have to worry about that. I saw our little vision. All right, let's go in this room that I was avoiding.
Mary Ann's room.
Let's
Oh,
not go in there until we absolutely have to.
Agreed.
never mind. I just realized I saw like Jen and then X with a P name, and I instantly thought of Pat. They've been broken up. They've been broken up. They raised us though. They raised us. All right, I guess we gotta go upstairs because we're too pussy to go into the mom's room. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Oh wow, where is Allison? Get your slow ass up here, Allison. Are you really gonna make me go through this emotional stuff by myself? Where are you? Girl! You know what? Screw Allison. We don't need her. We're strong. Oh, whoa. This is cute. Oh, now she's coming. Now she's coming upstairs. I see you. Hello.
I'm sure it's still there.
Okay,
I should check our bedroom upstairs.
I'm slow because I'm looking at everything. Fight me.
Where'd you come from?
There we go. A Tale of Two Swords. This is beautiful. Oh, Allison is like scary. She pops out of nowhere, I swear. Alright, let's go. So it doesn't yell at me again.
If you don't come up soon, I'm gonna take whatever I want from our bedroom.
No way! Wait for me!
Oh, she was supposed to be downstairs.
No,
I'm the
this?
slow one.
This feels like home.
Does it? Alright, I'm scared.
Hey, the postcard we sent ourselves from Juno.
Forever alone.
What?
We barely had any friends. We even had to be our own pen pals.
Ooh. Hello, Allison and Tyler. We are writing from the past. What is it like in the future? Anyway, Juno is super cool. We took the... Guys, this is... I can...
Tyler, do you copy? If we don't move fast, this whole thing is going to melt.
Okay.
Do you copy?
We're basically walkie-talkies on legs, you know.
Yeah, well, how do you play Ice Road Trucker Assassins without a walkie-talkie, right?
I'm trying to read, okay?
So serious all of a sudden.
Can they, like... Not...
Hey,
okay,
the
I'm
postcard
slow.
we sent ourselves from Juno.
I'm
Forever
slow.
alone.
What?
We barely had any friends. We even had to be our own
You
pen
didn't-
pals.
Okay. We got some books. Mommy went to the restaurant at night and forgot them. It was cool. There was lots of whales on the ferry. No, there wasn't. They were in the water. Stupid. Anyway, here's a postcard to remind you of how awesome we are. Especially me. You know. Slay. Okay, there we go. Sorry, guys. I can read. I swear. Alright. Let's look. Where the heck did she go? She disappeared. Oh, she's right there. Let's see. We got... Their room is so cool. Oh, look at this.
Look, it's the game we made. Lucian Tramway.
That game never made any
Ooh.
sense.
My
Didn't
phone
stop us from playing all day.
Dude, we were kids. All we needed were rocks and bird feathers.
I should be looking at other stuff. What am I reading? Oh, 1. Figure out who goes first with paper, rock, scissors with silent voice. Roll the dice and move the number you roll. Pay to the tramway lady to climb up or down the mountain. 4. Take the lug. Guys, I can read, I promise. Oh god. To slide down the mountain. 5. If you get a 1, you get to roll again. 6. If you get a 1 again, pick a motor card to climb up the mountain with a... Okay. 7. If you roll a 6, become the mad hunter for 2 turns. Safe from that. Wait. Screenshotting the rules. Oh. If you roll a 3... Oh. Okay. We get the gist. Oh, wait. No, let's not leave. I needed to look at the moose. Guys, we can't forget any stuffed animals, okay? Stuffed animals are great.
Hey, you. I just found your twin under
That-
the house.
Oh.
He's seen better days.
I totally forgot about the toy under the house. R.I.P., guys. Alright, we're done in this section. Let's look around some more. Wait, we're looking for something specific, so let's try and avoid whatever
So much
that
for my
is
dream of
first.
being a hockey star.
Marianne thought sports were too aggressive, too competitive, and too groupthinky.
Or in other words,
How did
Too
you convince
manly.
me to let you put this up?
It was my favorite movie back then.
oh, that's hilarious. Alright, what's over here? Oh, beautiful. That is absolutely
one
beautiful.
thing you gotta give Marianne.
Our
Is that she let
space
us explore our artistic side.
contact.
You should have seen Eddie's face when I tried to repaint his car.
Yeah, I bet Uncle Eddie didn't appreciate your artistic touch.
I'd rather you called him Chief Brown if you're gonna be an ass about it.
Oh, damn. That's harsh. Oh, wait, no. I think that's what we need. Okay.
Whenever we asked for a TV, she'd just bring home a big stack of books.
I
Damn.
think she did us a favor with that one.
You may not agree when we start digging into the HBO back catalog.
We'll see.
Damn.
Ugh,
Oh.
some of our
whoa.
old toys give me the creeps.
No, wait. That's kind of cool, though. I like their creativity. It's awesome. Alright. Finally getting to the box, guys.
Look what I found!
What?
Only our greatest creation, the Book of Goblins.
Seriously? It was in that chest the whole time?
All these stories.
I had ideas for so many more.
Marianne
Okay, I
wrote a
don't
lot
like
of them.
Yeah. It's one of the only times I remember her being
Whoa.
at peace.
That's crazy. Oh, whoa, whoa. What? Oh, wait. They're actual stories. Oh. Oh, no. Guys, whoa. Should I read them all? Y'all want me to read all the stories? Oh, God. Guys. Yeah, okay. Here goes. Okay, guys, settle in. Get your snack or drink or whatever. It's story time. And it's a story time that's going to make you twitch because I can't read. I can. I just suck at it. All right. All right. You ready? Here goes. We're going to read it like this because this is... I'm not dyslexic, but this is a dyslexic-friendly font, okay? The frog earns the right to speak. Once upon a time, I don't think it meant it like... It probably means like it learns to speak. Anyway, once upon a time, in an ancient and deep forest, there lived a big frog in a small pond. She was a peaceful creature who spent most of her time eating, swimming, and sleeping. From the morning to the evening, she did everything the smaller frogs did, except she did it bigger. She ate more, she jumped further, she was smarter. She was smarter, and she made much more noise. Everybody in the forest could hear her loud croaking. And everybody was happy that they could. You see, it was easy to get lost in the forest, but thanks to the frog's loud noises, you could just as easily find your way back to her pond. Maybe it would not have been the same if the big frog had kept singing during the night. But she was much too lazy. An animal to... Am I reading? But she was much too lazy, an animal to stay active after dark. Okay. I think I read that right, but it just sounded confusing. One day, an unknown visitor came to the forest for the first time. It was a young woman dressed in a beautiful gown. She was walking fast through the woods as if she was running away, and she never looked back. Many eyes spied the princess pass by, but no one dared to help her, for the mad hunter was on her tail. "This is not our business," they said, and we had better look away. For the mad hunter was an unyielding man who loved nothing but hunting down prey for money and glory. Nothing could escape his prying eyes for long. Okay. So the princess walked alone without help until she was helplessly lost in the big forest. Exhausted, she pressed on with no idea of where she was heading as the hunter drew even closer, dodging in his pursuit. She continued this way until she heard a heavy croaking far off to her left, so clear and loud that the princess immediately made for the source of the noise. A few minutes later, she reached the big frog in the small pond, and the frog looked at her with a gentle smile. "Help me, please," said the princess. "I need a place to rest and hide." "Ribbit," answered the frog, and the princess frowned. "Please, stop making noise. The mad hunter is after me." Is that about police? Huh? Am I missing something? Okay. Where was I? The mad hunter is after me. "Ribbit," said the frog again, so loud the princess had to cover her ears. The creature began to jump every which way. "What are you doing?" asked the princess. "Stop all that noise, or he will find us." but the frog kept croaking and jumping around her, left and right, up and down. Ribbit, ribbit. Until the princess understood the meaning of all this fuss. Cautiously, the woman climbed on the back of the big animal. How big is this frog? Wait, hold on. And then, with a leap, the frog set off away from the pond. The frog jumped so high and so far that even the hunter could not find where the princess had gone. With a few jumps, the princess was out of his prying eyes. A few jumps more, and she had vanished for good. The princess closed her eyes and let her clever mount carry her wherever the creature pleased. Oh wait, what am I doing? Oh, there we go. Put Tinkerbell size. I'm so okay. Less than an hour later, the big frog had reached the other side of the ancient forest, near the shore of the very deep lake. There she landed without a noise in front of a big wooden house that had been abandoned. "Thank you," said the princess, covering the animal's snout with a kiss. "I only wish you could speak so I would have understood what you were trying to do sooner." As she pronounced those words, something incredible happened. The big frog was suddenly able to speak. Her first words startled the princess. "The Mad Hunter is always at my heels. Now you're safe, and I've had my revenge. You can stay in this house. It has been abandoned for a long time, and no one will look for you here." And then, without looking back, the big frog jumped back to the pond. And this is how the big frog saved the princess and how she earned the right to speak. Wow, that was really difficult, guys. I'm so sorry. Okay. What were you saying that the book is? Okay. An analogy of police kids be smart with their storytelling. And then you just said princess, and then Tinkerbell size. Oh, you know what? She might have been. Or it's a really big frog. Or both. What if it's both? You know, she was Tinkerbell size, and... Anyway. Do you guys want me to keep reading? Or was that too difficult for you to handle? I won't take offense. I suck at reading. It's good that most of this story, they speak for you. Oh, I have a cute little dragon, by the way. I'm gonna wear it on my head. Let me know your opinions. Let's get down to business. To defeat. No, I really want to watch Mulan. Aw. You know what? Yeah, stay on my shoulder. You guys like my dragon. What even is the next story? Let's see. The next story is called The Bear and the Princess. Wait, how many Wait, are these all... Oh, slay. I'm gonna keep reading, guys. Screw it. Okay. Oh dear lord, this is gonna be fun. There's just gonna be a large portion of my stream where it's me struggling to read, and I know it's gonna anger anyone who watches it, and I'm okay with that. The Bear and the Princess. Once upon a time in an ancient and deep... Wait, let me get on a better voice. Once upon a time in an ancient and deep forest, the old bear stood on the bank of the river, sweeping at salmon on their way to the swanning grounds. Wow. Just as he'd got his paws on a particularly fat one, he heard a woman shouting for help. He considered simply eating his salmon. Wait, I feel like people... Am I saying that right? No, don't fear. Just do. Oh shit, sorry. Considered simply eating his salmon, but then she screamed again, and he lumbered over to investigate. After a short walk, he found the princess climbing to the top of the tree while the wolf snarled and snapped at the base of the tree. Old Bear would normally not get in the middle of such a situation. After all, as a fellow predator, he understood the wolf's need to hunt. But when he saw the princess, he was struck by her beauty, and he knew he had to help. With a great roar, the bear heavied into his hind legs, raising to his full height. The wolf snapped and snarled in his direction, but the bear roared again, and the wolf took off into the trees, tails between his legs. The old bear fell back down into all fours and stared up at the princess. She regarded him fearfully. Don't laugh. I'm laughing at myself. What am I doing? Okay.
You can come down.
He said. How do I know you didn't save me just so you could eat me yourself? Asked the princess.
I suppose this is a fair question.
Hi, totally coming at a completely normal part and not me voicing a old bear horribly. Hi. It's not bad. It's not bad. How's it going for you? As you can tell, I definitely don't have a career in voice acting. Admitted the bear. Sorry.
But I promise I won't eat you.
There we go. Finish that section. I'm so good at this. Oh, water break. Hydrate, guys. Hydrate or die straight. Ooh. What? I didn't say it. Okay. The princess had no reason to trust the old bear, except that he had kind eyes, and so she slowly made her way down the tree. What? Beat you to it. Sad. Oh, what? Beat. Huh? I'm confused. When am I not confused, though? Kind eyes, and so she slowly made her way down the tree. When she reached the ground... Oh. Loser. The bear only watched her, and so she supposed she was not going to be eaten today. Okay. Thank you, she told the old bear.
Of course,
He said.
Can I walk with you back to your home?
Of course, said the princess, and so the princess and the old bear walked together through the forest back to the big wooden house. After that day, the princess would occasionally find gifts from the bear: a fresh caught salmon, a handful of ripe berries, a newly bloomed bluebell. One spring, when a sudden thaw flooded the path out of the princess's home, the old bear was there, and she rode his back across the river. The old bear began to think that the princess should... Whoa! That took a turn. I was not expecting that. Okay. Where was I? Should be his mate. After all, she had no mate, and she needed one. And he could keep her warm and provide her as much, her a much more suitable den, and catch fish for her and protect her from wolves. She in turn would brush out his fur and pick berries without smushing half of them, and scratch that one part of his back he couldn't reach. What? This is he couldn't reach, and with how she took care of the goblin, she would be an excellent mother for his cubs. Hey yo, what is this story? I'm scared to turn the page. Guys, I genuinely didn't know about. Please don't tell me. It's a great. Is it? Oh my god. No, stop. Okay, we're turning the page. The gifts, the bear. This game seems interesting, though. What do you recommend? Yes, you should. You should give it a try, 100%. It is a beautiful game. I mean, this part's questionable. This story is really questionable, but it's a beautiful game. Lovely, beautiful, art, beautiful animation, like, great. 10 out of 10 recommend. I don't know what's happening here, though. We're gonna finish this story. One day, the old bear came with a ring of spruce and asked the princess to be his bride. I'm sorry, said the princess. You are a very good friend. Adrian? Miraculous ladybug? I'm kidding. Friend, and I appreciate all you've done for me, but I cannot marry you. You're a bear. I'm a princess. It would never work. The old bear was crushed. Can we still be friends? He asked. We will always be friends, said the princess, but I will never marry you. The old bear and the princess carried on their friendship, and after 1 year, he tried again to ask her to be his bride, but once again she refused. This happened 1 year later. This happened 1 year later, and 1 year after that, and then finally the princess said, Old bear, you are my dear friend, and I appreciate all you have done for me, but I would sooner you have left me to the wolves than marry you! And that is how it will always be. I have my hands full with the 2 goblins who live under my house. Oh my god, wait, I think it's about the mother. I think it is about the mother. I think it's about what happened to the mother, quite possibly. Because the twins, they were the goblins, and they had a little treasure area under the house. And they are all I need. That wounded the old bear deeply, but it was finally enough to stop his proposals. They remained friends, and he continued to give her gifts of fresh salmon and ripe berries and newly bloomed bluebells. But the old bear never again asked the princess to be his bride, much as he might have wanted to. And that is how the princess befriended the old bear and how she refused him. That is wild, y'all. Because the mom created a character in... Yeah. I think the mom made herself the princess. Like, in just overall, like, she is the princess. And, like, obviously the 2 goblins, they literally... I don't know what that is. What is that? Is that, like, an actual book? Ow. Should I know what that is? Or is this, like, a... Am I stupid for saying I don't know what it is? Theories? What? Hold on, I'm looking this up. What? I confuse myself because I'm stupid. Right, but I don't know who those people are. I don't, that's what I'm saying. I don't know who those people are. Oh, her name's freaking, Shit, what's her name? It's That's her brother, because they say uncle. Isn't it her brother? Because at the very least, the sister calls him uncle. And he's the one who adopted her. I really hope it's not their love story. Wait, maybe it is, because the bear and the princess is an unaccepted love. So what if the brother loved the mom? And that, oh my, please. Oh God. Oh, is that what happened here? Oh dear Lord. Oh dear Lord, what is this theory? Okay. Let's just keep going. I'm sure we'll figure this lovely out. Okay, the beaver fixes the house. This is crazy, y'all. This is crazy. The beaver fixes the house. Once upon a time, in an ancient and deep forest, there lived a wise princess in a big wooden house. One night, a particularly violent storm shook the house. It shook the that word on the roof and the planks on the walls. It even shook the beams on which the house stood, blowing the whole thing near to the ground. The princess hid in a closet, fearing the house would come down on her as she slept. In the morning, the house was still standing, but it was badly damaged. The storm had blown off the roof and planks off the walls and even bent a post upon which the house stood. The first two things she could fix, but the last concerned her. What will I do? Despaired the wise princess. For though she knew many things, she did not know how to fix the big wooden house. Ooh, let's not. Okay. Oh God. Just then, the old bear came by to see if the princess had any trouble in the storm. When he found her nailing planks back into place, he said, "Stop." Oh, wait.
Stop, princess. Let me do that for you.
I'm happy to do it, said the princess. But if you want to help with the roof, you may. When the pair were done with the roof and the walls, they examined the bent support post.
I could throw my body against it,
said the old bear.
I am very large.
He stretched up into his hind legs, being sure the princess could appreciate how very large he was, then charged straight at the post. He threw his body against it with an impressive thud. The impact moved the post, but too far, and it ended up bent the other direction. The wise princess decided more precision was needed. She thought then of the very old beaver who kept an excellently crafted dam. Wow, that was hard to say. Perhaps she can help me. Perhaps she can help. She went looking for the very old beaver and found that this animal hard at work slopping down mud on a part of her dam that had been blown apart in the storm. Most of the structure was unharmed because the beaver was very good at building things. The princess knew she had come to the right place. "Beaver," she said, "my home was damaged in the storm. Would you help me fix it?" "I believe I could do that, yes," said the very old beaver. And she paused at fixing her own den and followed the princess. The very old beaver examined the big wooden house and nodded. "It will be an easy fix," she said, and she set about righting the post with loud slaps of her tail when she was done. The wise princess stroked the beaver's head. "Thank you, beaver," she said. The wind blew I still can't pronounce that damn word. Oh my gosh. Off the roof and the planks off the walls and even bent this post. Now, thanks to you, I still have a home." think nothing of it, said the very old beaver, who returned to work on her own den once again. That winter, the very old beaver grew ill. No, very ill. She was not able to fix her den, nor to gather food. When the princess found out, she set about delivering meals to the beaver. She brought stews of corn and beans and baskets full of bark and twigs from the beaver's favorite. Ayo? Guys, it's me? Aspen. That's weird. Okay. I know it's a tree, guys. I'm not stupid. Well, I am, but I know it's a treat. One day, the wise princess noticed that the beaver's den had begun to fall apart. She set about fixing it and thought she was not as talented as the very old beaver. The fix kept the creature warm and dry. Thank you, said the very old beaver. Of course, said the princess. You helped me when the storm blew my house near to the ground. Thanks to you, I still have a home, and I am happy to do the same. The princess continued to nurse the old beaver until the day she came to the dam, and the forest was still. No birds sang, no branches rustled, no small things skittered within the underbushes. Oh, said the princess, staring sadly at the dam, for she had knew the old beaver had passed. Guys, I'm gonna cry over a beaver story! Goodbye, my friend. And that is how the very old beaver saved the big wooden house, and how the wise princess repaid her kindness. Guys, I can't cry over a beaver story. I wonder who the beaver is, because we have decided the princess is most likely the mother. The old bear is most likely, hopefully not actually, but most likely her brother, who is the sheriff. The goblins are the children. Wait, who's in the first story? Because it was the frog. So we don't know who. Wait, guys, let's write this down. We're gonna become detectives, okay? You guys cool with that? Okay, so where's my? There it is. Okay. Or old bear unnamed father. True. Oh, let's. Okay, that's true actually. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Okay, so we have princess. How do you guys don't mind me as I spell it? Princess equals the mom. The goblins are the twins. Equals twins, right? Okay. The bear, the old bear could equal the uncle or slash unknown father. That's wild to assume. Either uncle or unknown father because of what happened in that story, but that's our best guess. Okay, that's what we kind of have going. And then unknown characters that we have are the frog equals unknown. Is the Mad Hunter someone, do you think the Mad Hunter is someone? Should we put the Mad Hunter as a character? You know what, let's see if the Mad Hunter pops up again. Okay. This one we have the old beaver. Okay. So those are the characters we have so far. When I play a game, I play, alright? Detective all the way. Alright, let's get on to the next one. The Princess's Party. The Princess's Party. Once upon a time, in a deep and ancient forest, the princess was... God, I hate big words. Because it was the 1-year anniversary of when she had run away from home. Sensing her sadness, her forest friends showed up at her door. They were headed by the pelican. Yeah. Okay. Pious and attentive. Guys, they're big words. And organized by the moose. Stalwart and Farsight. The old bear was there, with his claws so sharp, as well as the big frog, prattling away. Even the Heidi muskrat, who mostly came out at night, had come. Jesus Christ, guys. This is a hard one. Okay. The bear invited her to ride on his back, promising no wolf would harry her path. And then the animals led her to a fairy glen where a fabulous party had been prepared. There was a buffet of seafood. The pelican had served from her never emptying beak. The air was filled with winking fairy lights the moose had arranged after clouds filled the sky, and the gracious frog mixed up fizzing drinks. Only the muskrat had done nothing in particular, munching off everyone else's hard work. The princess had a very good time at her party. Such a good time that she'd forgotten to say thank you to any of her friends. Noticing this, the fairies devised a bit of mischief. When the princess went to open her gift, she found 3 identical boxes at the edge of the glen. Puzzled, she turned back and gasped. The entire party had vanished. Because you had taken your friends for granted. You know, sly, sneaky little naughty fairies. Okay, called the naughty fairies. We have hidden them from you, but we like games. Guess who has given you each of those presents, and you'll get your friends back. The princess opened the first box. Inside, there was a torch, which, when lit, revealed the truth. Oh. Said the princess. Someone wants to make sure I don't get lost in the woods when it's dark, and that I always see right from wrong. Which of my friends would give me a gift like that? She opened the second box. Inside, there was a magic sword, which would leap right out of the barrier's hand to defend them. Said the princess. Someone wants to make sure I am protected if I am ever under threat. Which of my friends would give me a gift like that? She opened the third box. Inside, there was a bag of coins that always provided money if it was for something that bearer truly needed. Said the princess. Someone wants to make sure I have money to buy food when I am hungry and clothes when I am cold. Which of my friends would give me a gift like that? All right. The princess thought about her friends, and then she smiled certainly. Fairies, she said. I may have been thoughtless, but I appreciate that all my friends have given to me and all that they have done for me. She gave her answer, and the vexed fairies were forced to restore the party in a flash of colorful lights. One by one, she gave the animals a hug and thanked them for the presents, the party, and all they had done to help since she moved into the forest. And that is how the princess celebrated her first anniversary in the woods. Okay, wait, but who... Okay. I think the frog gave her the torch, right? Because the frog helped her find her way when she was lost. Wait, because there's a moose. I think the bear gave her the sword because the bear wants her to be protected. And... wait, who are the pelicans? The bear... pelicans... Maybe the pelicans gave her the money? What did the moose do? Wait. Wait, no, the moose arranged the lights. Maybe the moose gave her... Shit. Yeah, literally. 2 people didn't get her anything. Because there are... the bear, the moose, the pelican, the frog, and the muskrat. We know the muskrat didn't do jack shit. And... so, I think the frog would give her the torch. Because clearly the frog is someone important. The bear definitely gave her the sword. And maybe... No, I definitely feel like... I feel like the pelican gave her the money because even right here it says the pelican has a never-emptying beak, which low-key goes with the, like, kind of never-ending money, but for stuff she needs. And, I don't know, the moose was just chilling. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that's a horrible guess. Alright, let's go to the next story, guys. I'm going through this so slowly. I'm so sorry. We have, like, so many. This is gonna be my whole stream, just reading all of these. Alright. The goblins in the ice cave. And we're not gonna write down a character for someone until the character is mentioned a few times. So, unless it's the beaver, because the beaver obviously died and isn't gonna be mentioned again. But we need to figure that out. Okay. Okay. Alright. The goblins and the ice cave. Once upon a time, in a deep and ancient forest, the crafty goblins, the twins, right, were playing near the glacier when they discovered a hole in the ice. They crept through a gradually widening passage and found themselves inside a suspicious ice cave. Spacious. Spacious? Yeah, spacious. Light spilled down the undulating blue-white walls in a way that made them look like electric waterfalls. And a column made up of hundreds of icicles stood in the center. This was a time before the goblins had settled beneath the old wooden house, and they had nowhere to live. Perhaps we could live here, they said excitedly. Okay, see, now what? Moments later, the sound of stomping feet interrupted their play, and they realized that perhaps someone already lived there. They hid behind a boulder and waited and see who was coming. To wait and see who was coming. The old bear, entered into the cave, shaking powdery snow from his coat. He let out a grunt yawn and lay down in the corner on a pile of tree. But wow, I suck at reading, guys. Snoring within seconds. When they were sure he was deep asleep, the goblins conspired to claim the cave for themselves. What? Now I'm confused. They chipped away at the glacier until they had filled a basket full of ice, then hid once more behind their boulder and started tossing chunks of it on the sleeping bear. Now, Old Bear was not the smartest creature in the forest, so when he woke up covered in ice, he roared,
My cave is collapsing!
Then he lumbered to his feet and ran outside before the whole thing could come down on top of him. The goblins crept out after him and did a loop before coming back to find him sitting outside. What happened? They asked.
My cave! It's collapsing!
What is that? Bemoaned the bear.
And it's time for me to hibernate. Where will I stay for the winter?
It had not occurred to the goblins that the old bear had settled in for the winter, and they felt a little bad, but they did not want the old bear to know what they had done, so instead they offered to help him find a new den. Together they searched. They inspected cavernous stone and hollowed trees and deeply pocketed knolls. Nothing they found was as beautiful as the ice cave, but the old bear settled on a packed earthen hollow that would keep him warm and dry for his long sleep.
Good night,
he yawned, and the goblins gleefully returned to their new home. In the spring, the old bear woke and went for a nice long walk to stretch his legs. His path took him right to his old cave, where he heard the curious sound of laughter. Making his way inside, he was surprised to find that his cave was intact, and the goblins were inside playing a game.
What is this?
Growled the old bear. The goblins stopped playing and looked ashamed. We're sorry, old bear, said the goblins, but we had nowhere to live, and it's just so beautiful. We didn't realize you were about to hibernate, and then we couldn't bear to tell you what we'd done. The old bear was angry at the trick, but the young goblins looked appropriately ashamed, and so he said,
Come with me.
he led the crafty goblins to the hollow in which he had hibernated for the winter. You two,
You two can have this spot.
he said, and look. Someone had built a big wooden house right over top it.
No one lives there now.
Said old bear, but one day maybe
But one day, maybe someone will.
the earthling hollow was not as beautiful as the ice cave, but it kept the goblins warm and dry, and they were excited that someday they might have someone living overhead, someone who baked cakes and tolerated their mischief. And that is the story of how the crafty goblins tried to steal the cave of the old bear and how they got their own. Okay, now this is just really confusing. This is just really confusing, guys. Guys, I'm really confused. I'm so lost in this. Better all be explained by the end of the story, because I swear to God, I'm so confused. Let me know if you get any ideas, please. Oh God, okay. Okay. So my mother. Alright, ready? The Princess and the Two Thieves. Once upon a time, in an ancient and deep forest, there lived a wise princess in a big wooden house. The house was built from the strong wood of the forest, and it kept the princess warm and safe. The princess was not a native of the forest, but she never spoke about where she had come from, for it made her cry. She did not have many friends, but that was how she liked it. The forest was big and deep, and many paths led to her house, but not many visitors passed by. The princess was happy to be left alone in the big house in the deep forest. She knew that the forest would provide for her, but that its generosity that had been respected. So she only took what she needed. And for a long time, life was just fine for the princess in a big wooden house. One winter day, when the snow blanketed the earth and ice bent the trees low, the wise princess realized the food was disappearing from her house. It was not much at first, only a few fruits and nuts and eggs vanishing during the night. Maybe it's the birds, she said, or the mice. And for a time, the princess was okay with losing some food, for the winter was long and little creatures needed to eat too. But then, small items started to disappear as well. Spoons and plates, forks and knives and blankets. It was as if every time she was in one part of the house, something disappeared in another room. That can't be birds or mice, said the princess. I think I have a thief. So, she went outside to look for traces in the snow and noises in the wind, but there was nothing to be found, nor to be heard. That's strange, said the princess. Maybe the thief is hiding inside my house. For many days she hunted, looking behind the curtains and under the bed, in the attic and the chimney, behind the pulls and under the carpets, but she found nothing. And as she searched, food kept disappearing night after night. I will make a cake, frowned the princess. A big cake with every egg and fruit and nut I still have, so that I only have one thing to keep my eye on. She spent the whole day making the cake and using everything she had left. The cake she made was so big she could hardly carry it. If I manage to protect the cake, I'll be able to survive the long winter, she said. So she added a lock to the oven and she kept the big cake safe inside. But the next morning, the lock had been opened and the cake had disappeared. At first, the princess cried because that cake was the last of her food until the snow melted. But then she noticed 2 trails of tiny feet in the spilled flour, and she followed the tracks to a hidden hatch in the floorboards. This is how the princess realized that 2 tiny thieves were living under the wooden house right below her feet. So, is this about the house they're in right now, or however it's spelled, in regards to the princess house? We know the goblins are the kids, so were these kids homeless and taken in, or simply just how the kids took stuff and had it under the house? Yeah, actually, now that I think about it, I wonder if she adopted them. Because, I mean, I get it. Either way, she was a bitch. So they're not going to outright call her mother. But I wonder if she adopted them. Huh. Okay. Okay, I could get by that storyline. But I'm still curious about the old bear. Because it seems the goblins actually met him first. Which, low-key, maybe it is their dad. Maybe the old bear is their supposed father. I don't know. This is confusing. Alright. Alright. The princess makes new friends. Once upon a time, in an ancient and deep forest, there lived a wise princess in a big wooden house. She had been living alone just fine for a very long time, until the day she noticed food and small items were disappearing from her house. The thieves went on and on until the day her last cake, which had been made with the last of her eggs and the last of her fruit and the last of her nuts and the last of her flour, well, that last cake was stolen too. And all she found at the scene of the crime were 2 trails of tiny feet in the spoiled flour, leading to the hidden hatch in the floorboards. The princess did not try to open the hatch, nor did she try to break it. She was too tired and too hungry. All she could do was cry in silence, alone in the big wooden house hidden in the ancient and deep forest. She cried for a long time, until evening arrived, and then she cried some more. Suddenly, a tiny voice came from under the house. "What is that noise you make?" it asked. "We do not like it, not one bit." "I'm crying because you 2 are mean to me. Whoever you are, you stole all the food I had, and I will starve before the end of this long and cold winter." The hatch opened just a peep, revealing 2 frowning faces peering out from the darkness of their hideout. "But we're hungry too," said the second creature. "We have been hiding in this cave for a long time, and now the winter is upon us, and we need food." The princess dried her eyes and smiled at the 2 goblins. "If we were friends, we could share the cake you stole from me." The 2 thieves spat and smirked. "A friend? What is that?" The princess frowned, for she realized that the 2 tiny thieves were as lonely as she was. "A friend is someone you love and care for, someone you would never hurt." "We would never hurt each other, and we care for each other," said the goblins at the same time. "Does that mean we are friends?" "Yes, exactly." "And if we are friends, you would not hurt us?" "Of course not. Friends trust each other." The goblins shook their little heads. "We trust no one, for no one trusts us." Ooh, yikes. Their words made the princess cry again, for now she understood that the 2 creatures were not only as lonely as she was here in the big wooden house, but they had been lonely since they were born. You are making that noise again, frowned the goblins. Please stop that, for it makes us feel unhappy. Are you a witch? Is this some sort of magic? It makes you unhappy because we are friends, said the princess. But we don't know you, and you're not like us. Sometimes friendship comes right away, even between people who are very different. Does it mean we can't steal from you anymore? Yes. But that's what we do. We are the crafty goblins. We live under your house. Well, then maybe we could arrange something. Is that what friends do? Yes, I believe they do. And this is how the princess met the crafty goblins and how they became friends. She adopted them. 100%, right? This is what it's telling. This is the story. What if it's nothing? What if it really is just a bunch of random stories and it has nothing to do with the storyline? Nothing at all. That would be hilarious. Okay. You'll cry. I'll cry. I'm the one who's reading it absolutely horribly because I can't read. I can. I shouldn't say I can't. I just read horribly. Silently. Okay. The princess makes new friends. The bear's big paws. All right. The bear's big paws. Once upon a time, in a deep and ancient forest, the old bear was out looking for a snack when he spied a bee's nest in a hole high up a tree. The tree was dry and brittle, but the old bear was hungry. And so he made his way up to the nest. But when he got there, he found his giant paw couldn't fit into the hole. Determined, he tried to force it inside, but the effort caused the branch below him to snap. The old bear trembled to the ground and landed with a painful oomph. He laid there, stunned from the fall, when all of a sudden, something bit him. The bite was followed by another, and another, and another. Carpenter ants were swarming up his legs. You see, they had been nesting in that branch, and they did not appreciate being forced from their home. The old bear howled and jumped to his feet to dance around as he swatted and snapped, but his big paws couldn't do much about the tiny ants. Yeah, I was reading it. I was like, oh, let's not stop reading it right there. That's crazy. Oh, this one has 5 pages. Yeah. It's okay. It's okay. Sometimes things just sound a little wild at first. All right. When he had finally managed to squash or scare them all off, the old bear heard someone laughing. The crafty goblins had seen the whole thing. Clumsy old bear, they teased. Those big old paws aren't good at anything, are they? Then they sped off, leaving old bear's pride hurting just as bad as his body. He lumbered through the forest, hungry and sad.
Maybe I'm just a clumsy old bear.
He can we just say groaned? I don't think that word. I mean, I'm gonna say groaned, okay? I think that's a better word for this scenario.
And my big old paws aren't good at anything.
At that moment, the old bear heard a sad, sad noise.
What's that?
He wondered, and he followed the sound to where a mountain goat stood atop a boulder high up a hillside. Old bear, she cried. Old bear, please help. My kid is stuck. Alright, Slay. I don't know how. Guys, I'm not really good at voices. I need to practice voices, guys. Sure enough, a tiny mountain goat was trapped inside the stones, bolting sadly. The old bear began to walk towards them and then stopped.
I'm probably just going to make it worse.
Jesus, that is hard to do. We're good though. Alright. He thought, but then the goat kid started to belt even louder and the old bear put away his fear. He climbed up to where the goat was trapped, careful of where he stepped and trying not to think of how he had only just fallen out of a tree. Every now and then the ground would slide away from under his feet, but he kept going. When he reached the goat kid, he put his mighty paws against one of the boulders and began to push. At first it didn't budge, but he dug in and pushed even harder. Finally, the boulders parted just wide enough to let the kid scramble to safety. The old bear released the boulder and let out a roar of triumphant. Roar! That was wild. Guys, you're getting a whole show here, okay? I'm just that awesome. Thank you, gushed the mama goat, and she and her kid bounded off up the mountain. The old bear watched them go with a smile and then made his way back down to the hillside, wiggling his rump in triumph as he went. To his surprise, the crafty goblins waited at the bottom of the hill. "We saw the whole thing," they said. "We were wrong. You aren't just a clumsy old bear, and your paws are good for helping others." Yay. The old bear forgave the goblins for doubting him because he had doubted himself just as much. He never again thought his paws weren't good at anything, even though sometimes they weren't always great at everything. And that was how the old bear proved that his heart was bigger than his paws. That's lovely. I'm losing the storyline here, guys. I can't even lie. Big bear paws. Okay. The moon hang loose. Me too. Good. Glad I'm not the only one. Okay. The moon hag loses her name. Once upon a time, in a deep and cold lake in an ancient forest, there lived an old seal, who was a powerful witch in disguise. She was mean and cruel. She liked nothing more than to swim in the deepest part of the lake where the light was dim under the ice, admiring the corpses of many victims she's tricked into the water over the years. That got dark. She was so hateful that only the cold water of the lake could keep her cool. Her most prized possession was a tin mirror sold to her by the secret keeper, and she kept it in a chest at the bottom of the lake. It was no ordinary mirror. If you looked in it, you would see a reflection of who you truly desired to be. And for 1 hour, the mirror guaranteed you the power to appear as that person. That's a scary, powerful mirror. Whenever a boat or an unwise traveler approached the edge of a lake, the old witch used the mirror to appear as a beautiful woman she always wished to be, and with this disguise she lured the unfortunate sailor or wanderer into the deep and cold water. There, the old seal forced the victim to become her servant, and when she was done with them, they joined her collection of corpses in the deepest part of the lake. Y'all, this is... we're on the first page of this story, and it's already kind of wild. One day... yeah. One day, when the old seal swam down to her den under the lake... she discovered that someone had stolen her mirror. The chest where she kept her most prized possession had been forced open, and now it was empty. Who would have committed such a crime? Girl, you're killing people. I don't think you can judge. Who had dared to deprive her of her only treasure? What about your corpses? Are they nothing to you? The old seal went mad, and her anger hated the water of the lake around her. Heated, not hated. I can read. breathing. Anyway, around her. For a time, everyone was happy with the temperature change, for the weather suddenly became sweeter and the air warmer. But after a few weeks, things started to get ugly. First, the fish began to die off, for they could not live in the hot water. Then the glaciers began to melt, and the water of the lake rose and spilled out, flooding the forest and the meadows. Finally, the water grew so hot that even the Ice King himself was awakened from his long sleep and decided to see what was going on. Who are all these new characters? In the deepest part of the lake, he had found the Mad Witch steaming among the corpses, her victims, so angry that the lake was about to boil. It only took a few minutes for the Ice King to understand what had happened and demanded that the thieves present themselves. I'm sorry, why are we more pissed off over the fact that someone stole from her other than the fact that she kills people? That's wild. Okay. Present themselves before him. The thieves had no choice but to appear, for no one dared to disobey the Ice King. The crafty goblins presented themselves, mirror in hand.
Why did you steal the mirror?
Asked the Ice King. We were curious. We just wanted to see what we really wanted to be, apologized the goblins. But the stupid thing is broken. We looked the same.
That does not mean it did not work.
Oh God, why am I doing this? Okay, smiled the Ice King.
Now apologize and give the mirror to me, for it is too powerful to be used by thieves or a mean old hag.
Wow, that's harsh. I mean, come on. Can be a little nicer to her, even though she kills people. The goblins apologized and gave the mirror to the Ice King, but the old seal was still angry. What about me? Guys, I don't know what voices I'm doing. She asked. I've been deprived of my treasure. I demand compensation. The Ice King frowned as he spoke again.
Old hag, you are mean and cruel, but I concede you have been wronged. For now, you will be allowed to leave the lake and walk the earth, as the hag you really are.
I don't think...
But only when the moon is full. And you, goblins, you had better stay away from the lake, for I won't protect you from the moon's hag's wrath.
And this is how the two goblins forced the moon hag to change her name. Yo, that's wild. I have no idea what happened in this story, but that's wild. Also, that Moon King was brutal. Moon King? The Ice King. The Ice King was brutal, man. Girl just wanted her mirror back. You didn't need to diss her like that. Okay. Hold on, I need a break, guys. I need a break. How many have I read? A lot. Reading is not my strong suit, and yet I'm playing a story game. I love that for me. The worst part is, you know, like, I gotta keep going. I'm invested. We're an hour into the stream. An hour into the stream, guys. And I've barely moved from where I was last time, other than the fact that I got the book. Slay. How's life? How are you guys doing right now? Anyone need a bathroom break or something? A snack break? A food break? Y'all want to see my... Let's pause. Let's pause. Oh.
Where is it?
You looking for something in particular?
My diary.
You
I was
never
trying to
told me
pause
about
the
it.
game.
Yeah. With the way Marianne was, I tried extra hard to keep it a secret. Marianne.
I forgot.
Yeah, that day she found out about it.
Hey, yo. Y'all, I forgot about that we were actually playing a game. I can't even lie. I forgot we were actually playing a game for a moment. I got a little jump scared. I was so, like, into the reading. We're not done, guys. I'm just a little break. Look at my little dragon, though. This is my dragon up close. It's so cool. It's all fidget. His name is Spicy Chicken Nugget because we did a vote, and that was his name. By we, I mean me and my partners. But yeah, this is his egg. I'm actually going to put him back because I feel like I'm going to lose him or Iridia is going to destroy him. So he's going back in his egg. Just a little break. Nothing crazy here. They really are. Beautiful. Giving. Yeah, no, that's fair. That's completely fair. Yeah, I get that. Trust me. Let me check. Oh, my phone is charged. Yay. It was like almost dead when I started the stream and now it's fully charged. Let's go. Freaking baller. Oh, wait. This is the best. This is the best. I'm pretty sure I showed it last time I streamed too, but I'm obsessed with this. Oh, wait. Hold on. Sorry. Pretty. I'm not doing it right. But yeah. What time is it for y'all right now? Other than, I know it's anyone. Buying a crap ton of acrylic. Bro! I want acrylic markers so bad. I keep seeing them on freaking stupid ass TikTok. They look beautiful. Absolutely majestic. I have acrylic paint mark. That was not an invitation for you to get me anything. Stop that right now. I swear to God. I have too late. How was it too late? This conversation started 5 seconds ago. Bruh. Okay. Okay. Don't understand. No. That's not... Look, my logic is, okay, y'all, like, freaking you and JJ and River, freaking... I can't have you guys getting me shit when I'm broke, because then I can't get you shit, okay? I gotta spoil y'all, too. Wait until I get money. Even it out. By even it out, I mean, I want to be up here, all right? I want to be all the way up here. I want to be rich specifically for other people. I don't want to be rich for myself. In fact, I'm going to live as if I was poor. If I ever come into money, the only way people would know is because I would spend bank on them. But you walk into my home, you wouldn't even know. In fact, you'd be like, "Do you need money?" I'd be like, "Boo, do you need money? Because I got you." That's how I want to live. Please and thank you. I need the bare minimum. Anyway. Exactly. Okay. I'm gonna go back into it. Alright. Screw the game, guys. Storyline must go on. Alright. Okay, the Mad Hunter is a character. I don't know who the Mad Hunter is, but that is a character that we're adding. I can never open these damn markers. Alright. I thought it said Mad Hunter the first time I read that word. Not Mad Hunter. Mad Hatter. Goddamn. Who is the Mad Hunter? Alright. Let's get back into it. That was the shortest break ever, but I don't care. Alright. The goblins trick the Mad Hunter. Once upon a time, in a castle just beyond the ancient and deep forest, the Mad Hunter was punished by the Gold Lady for failing to return with the wise princess. Okay. For your failure. For your failure. Wait. She gives superior. For your failure, said the gold lady, I will take your left hand. You will return to the ancient and deep forest and hunt the wise princess, and if you can bring her back, I will return your hand to you. Fail again, and I will take your right hand. The Mad Hunter could hunt with just his right hand, but if he lost both his hands, he would never be able to hunt again and would no longer be a Mad Hunter. That's wild. But only a mad man. So the Mad Hunter returned to the ancient and deep forest, searching for his piercing eyes, with his piercing eyes for the princess. Oh. The crafty goblins were out searching for mischief when they saw the Mad Hunter on the prowl. We cannot let him find the princess, said the goblins. So they devised a plan. It was wash day, and the princess had hung her beautiful gown out to dry. They stole it from the line and stuffed it full of straw, and then returned to where the Mad Hunter was scouring the paths of the forest. As the Mad Hunter turned down a path that would have led him to the big wooden house, the goblins danced the straw princess in and out of view in the opposite direction. The ruse worked. The hunter fixed his piercing eyes on them and followed through the day and into the night. They led him away from the true princess. As the night fell, the crafty goblins realized the error in their plan. The Mad Hunter was now hunting them. If he caught them, he would not be kind. So they put their heads together and came up with a plan. It did not take them long to realize where they should go. They led the Mad Hunter to the edge of the deep and icy lake. And when he came in... Wait, this is suspicious. And when he came into view, they weighed the fake princess down with stones and dropped her into the frigid water, careful not to plunge into the depths themselves, lest the moon hag take her revenge on them. The Mad Hunter removed his clothes and dove in after the fake princess. He followed the shape of the sinking princess deep into the chilly water, down below where ice covered the lake's surface. Finally, he caught her, but when he spun her towards him, he realized she had no head and that her body was stuffed with straw. And then he felt a slippery fin brush his shoulder as the moon hag loomed overhead. Yo, what the hell? The next morning, the princess went to retrieve her gown from the clothing line and found that it was gone. She immediately suspected the goblins of mischief and called, Goblins, did you take my gown? The goblins emerged from their cave and nodded sadly. Now what will I wear? Asked the princess, sad and angry that she had lost her only dress. Let us explain, said the goblins. So they told the princess the story of the Mad Hunter, and then they produced his clothing, which was a bit large for the princess, but much warmer than her beautiful gown. She immediately forgave them. Thank you, my friends, she said, for rescuing me, and for this clothing, which will keep me much warmer in the winter than my beautiful gown. The Mad Hunter was forced to remain below the lake with the moon hag, but she did not kill him, because even reduced to just one hand, he was too useful a servant. Lo, he plotted the day he would emerge to once again hunt the wise princess and earn back his left hand. And this is the story of how the crafty goblins rescued the wise princess from the Mad Hatter. I thought he was gonna be confirmed dead in that story, and I thought this was gonna indicate that, they killed someone. And the body was in the lake. But now I'm questioning that storyline. Guys, I'm so lost. Okay, who is the pelican? Okay, guys, I think I'm going crazy, and it's completely useless to try and figure out who's who. I think the only for sure characters we know who's who are the goblins and the princess. That's the only for sure characters. Jesus Christ, I can never open these damn caps. Okay, Pelican? Pelican. We have to figure out who the Pelican is. Why do I have to be like this? Why can't I ever just enjoy something? Like, I can't even make this shit up, guys. Like, sticky note after sticky note. I do it for shows. I do it for games. Why can't I just enjoy something? I have to, like, be a detective and, like... okay. It's fine. It's fine. We're fine. I'm fine. We're great. Beautiful. The Pelican helps her friends. Once upon a time, in a deep and ancient forest, an early winter storm blanketed everything in snow. It was so early in the year that the creatures of the forest were not yet ready for an ordinary winter, much less a bad one, and everyone agreed the storm was a sign the Ice King had plans for a long, cold winter. The princess had grown up in a kingdom where it was sunny all year long. The goblins were very young, so no one in the big wooden house knew how to prepare for such a winter. The house was not well insulated, and they did not have enough fuel or food. Only the something pelican noticed their plot. Wow. I hate words. And when it came time to fly south with the other birds, her heart was heavy with sadness. What can I do? She thought. I'm a see, I want to say migrating, but it doesn't end in ing. I don't know what that word is. I'm a traveling bird, and if I were to stay, who would look after my flock? The time came to go, and the pelican struggled to take flight. It felt as though a leaden... Sorry, I have a hair on my freaking... There we go. Leaden weight were stuck right in the center of her chest. What can I do? She thought. Oh, she says it again. I'm just gonna say traveling, okay, guys? I'm a traveling bird, and if I were to stay, who would look after my flock? She managed to take off, but only just barely, flapping fiercely to catch up with the other birds. As the something pelican began her journey, the storm picked up, battering her to the fro. She had fallen well behind the flock, and she was already growing tired, but for all her challenges in the air, she could tell things were much worse on the ground. A deep freeze had settled over the forest. The leaden weight in her chest grew heavier as she thought of the princess and the goblins. What can I do? I don't know why I'm, like, casually just giving this bird an accent, but we're just gonna go with it. She thought. Oh my god. I'm not repeating that line again. Yeah. Okay. The storm intensified and the pelican was in a total whiteout. She knew she should have disappeared, but all she could feel was the weight, which had grown and grown until she thought she might drop out of the sky. She had felt called to help the princess and the goblins, but she had ignored it. I should stay, she thought. It was the right thing to do, and now I'm lost, with no way to make it right. It's just getting more and more. Suddenly, she was plucked from the sky and deposited in the hall of the Ice King.
Pelican,
he said.
You were flying in circles around my mountain. I was lost, she said, weighed down by the weight of guilt in my heart. The Ice King stared at her. Something. Is it guilt or is it something else? Open your beak. That's a really weird request. You're weird. He reached down inside of her, pulling out a glowing stone. The pelican was surprised at how it filled her with warmth, chasing away cold and her doubt. You know what you must do, said the Ice King. The pelican flew straight to the big wooden house. Snow had already blown in through its... What was the glowing... Through its many cracks, and ice crept across the floorboards. She found the princess and goblins huddled in the front of the quiet hearth, nearly frozen solid. No, she cried, and then she placed the stone, in the princess's lap, the warmth of it spreading through the whole of the house, melting all that had frozen. The princess threw her arms around the pelican's chest, and the goblins clung to her legs. Thank you, they cried. You're welcome, said the pelican, smiling in deep satisfaction. What is this? What is that? Asked the princess, staring at the wonderful stone. At first, said the pelican, I thought it was my guilt, but when the Ice King pulled it out of me, I realized it was something much more powerful. Guys, don't ask what accent I'm doing because I genuinely have no flippin' idea. And at this point, I'm just adding in that really, really bad accent that isn't good at all, just so you can decipher who I'm talking. Who's talking. Genuinely mean no offense to anyone with accents. I have an accent. I have an American accent. It sucks. You know, when I was little, my parents said I had a New York accent. Okay, now I'm just rambling. Alright. Yeah. Just then, the storm broke and the skies cleared. The pelican filled the big wooden house's larder with food from her beak, and then she took to the skies, lightened by the knowledge that through her charity, everyone in the big wooden house would be warmed and fed until spring. And that is the story of how the pelican saved the wise princess and the crafty goblins from a long winter. Slay. That was a struggle. Dear Lord. Okay, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Guys, we have 9 more stories to go through, okay? We got this. The goblins earn their voice? Don't they already have a voice? I'm confused. Once upon a time, in the deep and ancient forest, the crafty goblins spied on the secret keeper as she made her rounds, gathering up secrets that the animals of the forest had for sale. How? Said the first goblin. Does she get people's secrets? Do you suppose she peels open their heads? Let's find out, said the second. And so the goblins watched the secret keeper. They watched her until the stalwart moose came to her, head hanging low. I'm assuming the moose is talking. It was my fault. I chose the uneven trail. I can't bear to remember. The secret keeper nodded and gazed into stalwart Moose's eyes. I'm just gonna say Moose's. I can't read. Though the goblins couldn't hear anything, they knew she was speaking to the moose, for the secret keeper spoke in people's minds with the gift of the voice. After a few moments, the moose blinked. I feel lighter, said the moose. Did I just give you something?
The secret keeper nodded, handing him a coin. The moose nodded and plodded along down the trail. He spied the goblins heading in the woods and narrowed his eyes, for he knew the goblins were often up to mischief. The two goblins whistled innocently, and the moose was forced to carry on because they were not doing anything obviously bad. Okay. This is the first story that mentions the voice, which now it makes sense how they earned their voice. Who is this person? This is so interesting. Alright. I need to know what that secret was, said one of the goblins. Let's go buy it. What? So the goblins approached the secret keeper before she could throw away Moose's secret. We want to buy the Moose's secret. What do you have to trade? Asked Oh, wait. Never mind. Okay. We want to buy the Moose's secret. What do you have to trade? Asked the secret keeper, her voice filling their minds. Or maybe I should do it like this, you know? What do you have to trade? Did that sound bad? Could you even understand what I was saying? Because she's like in your mind. Okay, I don't even know what I'm doing at this point. As the secret keeper, the goblins produced a silver. Don't mind that. Handled hairbrush they had stolen from the princess, and the secret keeper nodded. And that is how the goblins came to know the moose's mate had tumbled down a cliffside to her death? Jesus Christ! That's horrible. The secret keeper moved on. The first of the goblins said, I want to know more. So the goblins followed the secret keeper, hoping to find where she hid the secrets. They followed her to the peak of a nearby ridge and watched as she stowed the rest of the day's secrets high in a cloud. When she had gone, they climbed in a high spruce tree. Yeah? I'm good. As she stowed the rest of the day secret, disappeared into the misty sky. Okay. They reached out and just managed to dip their heads into the cloud. Their heads were filled with memories, and they snatched their heads back out as if they had just thrusted them in boiling water. That does not sound lovely. Tears poured down their cheeks. That was how the secret keeper found them, crying in the tree. Oh. You stole my secrets, seethed the secret keeper. Give them back. The crafty goblins stopped crying because they saw an opportunity. What will you give us in exchange? They asked. I will give you back the silver-handled hairbrush, offered the secret keeper. For so many secrets? Psh, you'll have to offer more than that. What if, said the secret keeper, I shared the gift of voice? The crafty goblins grew excited. That'll do. So the secret keeper shared the gift of voice with the goblins, and immediately they found that they could hear one another's thoughts and feel each other's feelings. The crafty goblins gave back the secrets they had taken and ran back to the big wooden house. There they found the princess preparing food. They tried to peer into her mind, but they found it was blank. I don't know if that's an insult or... They tried to speak to her using only their minds, but she could not hear them. It seemed the secret keeper was craftier than the crafty goblins, for she had only shared enough of her power to let the goblins use the gift of voice with each other and not with the whole of the forest. And that is how the goblins stole the gift of voice from the secret keeper. But why they could only use it with each other? But why? They could only use it with each other. There you go. I just gotta change the way I said a sentence. The big frog is pushed. Oh. The big frog is punished. Oh. Once upon a time, in an ancient and deep forest, there lived a big frog in a small pond. She was no ordinary frog, for she had been given the gift of speech when she saved the princess from the mad hunter. From the morning to the evening, she did everything the other frogs did, except that she knew how to speak. Everybody in the forest could hear her loud voice, and everybody was unhappy with that, because she never stopped babbling. She babbled about the too hot sun and the deep pond, about the rain to come, and all the delicious flies that she had eaten. Just sounds like they're bitches. Low-key. Across the forest, all the creatures tolerated that's so mean, the endless noise, until one day they could not deal with it anymore. They asked the big frog to quiet down. I can't, said the big frog. This is what I do. Before the princess kissed me, I croaked all day long, and you all liked that. I did. This is the same, except you can understand what I say, and now you find it irritating? But I can't change what I am, can I? Can you? All the creatures agreed that she was right, and that it was rude of them to ask the big frog to stop doing what she had always done. Exactly. Put those bitches in their place. So they returned to their own parts of the forest and let the big frog do what frogs have always done, jumping and talking some more about the too hot sun and the too deep pond, about the rain to come and the delicious flies they have eaten. And for a time, it was all right. But in the forest, word travels fast, and everyone has a story to tell. The big frog, being who she was, gossiped and gossiped about everything she overheard. Okay, that's where she's in the wrong. She told the bees about that old bear had stolen their precious honey 2 years ago. And she told the beavers that the eagles had stolen their precious wood. She told the deer who had killed her fawn. Who had killed her fawn. Depressing. And she told the tall spruce who had carved a cuss word into its bark. Once again, everyone in the forest asked the big frog to keep quiet, for now everyone had a grudge against everyone else. But once again, the big frog would not listen. When I was just a frog, you never paid attention to me, and nobody helped me when the mad hunter hunted me for sport. This is only a right for a wrong, and I won't stop talking. The fuss went on, and the noise was so loud that the Ice King himself awoke and decided to see what was going on.
Silence!
Bowled the king, and even the big frog stopped babbling. Once the forest was quiet again, the Ice King patiently listened to what each and every animal of the forest had to say, until finally he made his mind.
Big Frog, you have abused the gift of speech, for you have only used it to get revenge. Despite knowing that words can be hurtful, you threw them around without caution, and you caused too much trouble.
The big frog opened her mouth to protest, but the Ice King raised his finger before she could say another word.
Since you received the gift of speech for a good deed, I would not dare to take it away from you. So here is your punishment. I will tell you the biggest of my secrets. It is a secret so powerful, so dangerous, that it will frighten you. But if you ever reveal it to anyone...
The Ice King bent down and whispered such potent words to the big frog's ear that the poor creature started to tremble.
Now go about your business, all of you, and try to forget what the big frog told you, for you are all living in the forest, and you have nowhere else to go.
And this is how the big frog irritated the Ice King, and now she was punished. That's not really a punishment. She's just, keeping a secret. Something she should have done from the beginning.
gonna be dangerous, my friend. You need a mindset change for this. You cannot get it. Okay, I probably should stop before I get copyrighted. Why you gotta do that? Why you gotta do that to me? You know I'm obsessed with Epic. As are you. Okay. Good. I hope she keeps that secret. The goblin saved the old beaver. Wait, but the old beaver's dead! Are you telling me the old beaver's still alive? Did I almost cry for nothing? Emotional roller coaster, I tell you. Save the old beaver. Once upon a time, in a deep and ancient forest, winter gave way to spring and a sudden burst of warm air that melted all the snow and all the ice all at once. The river swelled until it could no longer hold all the water in, and then it spilled out to create new rivers in places where no one was expecting them. The whole of the forest went into a panic, looking for shelter from the rising water. The very old beaver had been working on her dam when one of those new rivers came rushing right at her. She screeched and squealed, but whenever direction she ran, more water appeared. Oh. Slay. Okay. Right, okay. More water appeared. She was caught in the flooring and thought she had once been an excellent swimmer. Age had taken its toll, and so the raging water carried her off at a speed she could not control. Help! She cried. The crafty goblins had been running back to their cave under the big wooden house when they heard the beaver's cries. "We have to help the beaver," one of the goblins said. "You go one way, and I'll go the other." I know, right? What is with this beaver abuse? They ran, keeping in touch with the gift of voice. Finally, one of them spotted her, twisting and tumbling in the river. But she was on the opposite side of the water, and the goblin could not reach her. "Brother," the sister goblin called out through the gift of voice. "I see her, but I cannot get to her. Maybe you can?" "I'll try." The goblin guided her brother so that he would put the river in so he would hit the river in just the right spot to reach for the beaver. The plan worked, and soon the second goblin appeared at just the right spot. "Beaver!" he shouted, holding out a branch. "Grab a hold of this!" The beaver grabbed it, but in her panic she pulled the goblin in two. "No!" cried his sister. She ran as hard as her legs could go, managing to outpace the river and get ahead of the beaver and her brother, searching for some means of getting them out. She spied a low-hanging branch. They zipped by it quickly, but if they were fast enough... She zipped by it quickly, but if they were fast enough... "Brother!" she cried out through the gift. "You're coming up on a low-hanging branch. You'll zip by it quickly, but if you're fast enough..." "Got it," said the brother. And then he said to the beaver, "Get ready to grab a hold of the low-hanging branch. We're going to zip by it quickly, but if we're fast enough..." Suddenly, they were right in front of it and reached out, snagging hold. Though the water beat against them, trying to sink them loose, they pulled themselves along the branch back to dry land. When they were all safe, the very old beaver thanked the goblins. "But how?" she asked. "Did you know just where to find me? And how did you know that branch was coming?" Guys, I'm losing my old lady voice. The goblin shared a secret smile. Just lucky, I guess," they said, and that is how the goblin saved the very old beaver from flooding the river, and how she never knew how they did. Damn, that's crazy. Okay. The what now? Did that just say...
Oh, irritate. Okay. That's not surprising. Ooh. We got this, right? Yeah. Once upon a time, in a deep and ancient wood, and the crafty goblins were getting into all kinds of trouble. They had woken up in a particular mischievous mood that day, and there was not a single of the ancient forest who they did not manage to pull a prank on. They left a mud pie in the princess's kitchen so that when she dug in, she got a big mouthful of dirt. They used paint to draw silly pictures all over Moose's antlers while he slept. They told the muskrat that his coat had been returned to his former glory, which made him very sad when he rushed to the water's edge and found he was, in fact, still something. They stole branches from the very old beaver's dam. Oh, that's just mean. In order to have a sword fight, and they filled the old beaver's den with burrs. Every time they ran away in a fit of giggles, never stopping to consider whether their jokes had done any harm. They were on their way to fill the pelican's beak full of bubbles when they were hoisted into the air by their legs. Though they thrashed and shouted, they found themselves staring into the face of the Ice King.
All morning,
He said,
I have been hearing complaints about you two.
"They're just pranks," said the goblins. "No one was really hurt,"
Oh, no one?
asked the Ice King. He forced them to see how each of the victims of their pranks was doing. The princess had a stomachache from swallowing the mud. The moose's antlers itched terribly where the paint had touched them. The muskrat was crying sad at being reminded that his vanity had cost him. The very old beaver's den was flooded, and the old beaver was trying to get the burrows out of his fur. Oh, it's a different old beaver. That actually makes sense. But finding most of them hopelessly tangled.
For your punishment, said the old king, you must help each of them undo the harm you caused. If you do a good enough job of this, there will be no further punishment. If you do not, there will have to give me your noses so that you can no longer stick them into other people's business. That's wild.
Now the goblins liked their noses right where they were, in the middle of their faces, so they set about making things right. They baked a real pie for the princess and brewed her a tea that would settle her stomach. They scrubbed the moose's antlers clean and then covered them in soothing mud. They sat by the river with the muskrat, listening as he talked in great detail about his old coat. And then they did their best to point out all of the things that were still handsome about him, like his proud whiskers and sparkling eyes. They let the very old beaver rest while they repaired all the damages they had done to her den. See, before it wasn't... You know what? Slay. And then finally, they removed every burrow from old beaver's fur, even the ones that were helplessly tangled. In the end, they came before the Ice King to see if they had done enough. The Ice King surveyed the forest and found that everyone seemed to be back to normal.
What did you learn?
Asked the Ice King. That our pranks can make people feel bad, said the goblins. The Ice King smiled and nodded.
Yes, actions have consequences. In case you forget, I'm going to leave you with a reminder. Whenever one of your pranks is going to hurt someone, you are going to feel a little pit in your stomach. That will be your punishment.
And your warning. So every time after that, the goblins set out to do a prank that went a little too far. They felt a little pit in their stomachs, and they were forced to consider whether it was the right thing to do. And that is how the goblins irritated the Ice King and how they were punished. Is there even a storyline anymore? Are we just reading random fictional stories now? I'm confused. Cass, you seem to be really good at putting this together. I hope you're keeping track of all of this. Forgives the goblins. The pelican forgives the goblins. That's true. Yeah, they do. Yeah. Once upon a time, in a deep and ancient forest, there lived a pair of crafty goblins in a cave below a big wooden house. They lived with a wise princess who shared as much food with them as she was able, but it was never quite enough. This left the goblins hungry, very hungry, always hungry. One day, as they were out foraging for food, the pelican landed on a rock and dumped something from her beak, which the goblins knew was magic and never emptied. There were king crabs in red, blue, gold, and scarlet. Veni blue shrimp, pink shelled, oh my god, something brown crabs, purple spinny urchins, and even one prickly red sea cucumber. Food just kept coming. They watched as the pelican ate one clam and then took a nap. Do you think she would mind if we took just a little? Asked one goblin to the other. Her beak never empties. She wouldn't possibly miss a couple of crabs, said the second. Licking her lips, they were agreed, and so they crept over, flinched some crabs, and ran. I feel like eating food out of your own never-ending beak wouldn't make you a fool, you know? I feel like it's just like a craving, you know? You crave something and you just want to taste it, but it already came from your body. Like, I don't know. I feel like logically it wouldn't. Maybe not. I don't understand how magic works. The goblins scoffed the crabs, but when they finished, they found that they were still hungry. Maybe I'm right. She wouldn't miss a handful of shrimp, said one goblin to the other. The goblins scarfed the shrimp, but then when they finished, they found that they were still hungry. Maybe also a few scallops, said one goblin to the other. The goblins scoffed the scallops, but when they were finished, they found that they were still hungry. So they went back for the clams and the urchins, and finally, even the sea cucumber. Finally, they were not hungry, but there was also nothing left. Just then, the pelican woke up. What happened to my food? She asked, unable to lie about it. The goblins confessed their crime. The pelican was dismayed, but she was a charitable-hearted bird, and she could tell the crafty goblins were growing little creatures. Goblins, said the pelican, I will share my food with you, but you must, in return, follow my example and be as gracious with others as I am with you. Take that to heart, and I will have considered your debt paid. But we have nothing to give, said the goblins. You have your numbly hands and your crafty brains and your loving hearts, said the pelican. The crafty goblins realized how much they had to give, and for the rest of the day they looked for ways to help other creatures of the forest. They found the moose struggling with an itch, hard to reach spot on his back, and so they climbed up and gave it a good scratching. Next they helped the old bear who could not get the honey out of the narrowing beehive. They climbed up to the top of the tree with the hive and then dropped it, cracking it open. Finally, they found the princess, crying over a loss she would not speak about. So they wrapped their little arms around her and in a great big hug and stayed until she felt better. When they were done, they returned to the pelican. Did it feel good being as gracious as I am? Asked the pelican. It did, said the goblins. I'm glad, said the pelican. We all have problems that we can't solve on our own. But if everyone goes about with generosity in their hearts, then there's always someone on the other hand to help. But we all must commit to do so. Or they may be no one there to help you when you need it. This made sense to the goblins, and they thanked the pelican for her food and lesson. Of course, by this time, they were hungry again, and that remained on an ongoing problem until the day the moose taught them to fish. But that's another story. Oh, slay. A relative there was wanted, so they turned it into a character. I have all the questions, but yeah, same. You know what I was thinking about though? What if the pelican? Because do you remember when we were looking at like the books on the table and like the old math homework, and they mentioned a character who like, and like, there's an option to say you liked when she came, and Tyler was like, yeah, I like when she came. She brought snacks and stuff over. What if the pelican's her? What if? Quite possibly. Maybe? Maybe? Nice lady. Let's add that. Let's add that. Hold on. I need a... So, okay. So we have a possibly new... Oh my god. I need a... Guys, I can't open my markers. Okay. Pelican. What was her name? I forgot her name, though. Dude. I just... Okay. So the pelican. Pelican. I don't know the name. Yeah, I don't know either. We're just gonna say nice, lady. Nice lady. She thought they were, like, gifted, which they low-key are because they can speak to each other through their minds, but, nice lady. We'll understand what that means. Okay, alright. Pelican is possibly the nice lady. But yeah, these are definitely moral lessons. It's like teaching the goblins to be thankful and kind. Okay. Did that. Meet the ice troll. Ooh, ice troll. Oh, that looks concerning. Okay. Once upon a time, in an ancient deep forest, the crafty goblins were... I like how the story was originally like the princess's point of view, low-key, and now it's like all about the crafty goblins. Were awake long after they should have been asleep. One goblin said to the other, "Let's go explore the forest." Now the goblins were not in the habit of exploring the forest late at night, and they did not know what they would find, but this did not scare them off. They crept out of their beds, bundled up, and went exploring. It was dark. The light of the moon was just enough to keep them from walking into the trees, but they could not see more than 15 feet in front of them. Every time a twig snapped, a branch rattled, they considered turning back, but they didn't. And so they had ventured far beyond the house into a part of the forest they were not familiar with, when they realized the snapping of twigs and the rattling of branches had become steady. Something was following them. They turned to run, but a hulking figure emerged from the darkness, sweeping them up with a giant hand and stuffing them into a burlap sack. Did they get kidnapped? Is this revealing deep dark lore about the twins? The goblins wiggled and cried out. For real. But the sack remained shut. Not the kidnapping. As their captor stomped through the forest, singing, "Waddle daddle dum, waddle daddle dee. In this bag's a meal for me." That's crazy. After a lot of thumping and... Oh, wait. Should I do a voice for that? It's fine. After a lot of thumping and thudding, the bag opened and the goblins were dumped into a giant iron pot full of warming water. A huge troll stood overhead, grinning down at them through the long, bushy white eyebrows. "I am the ice troll, and you are my dinner." He to cook the goblins, singing,
Waddle daddle doom. Dum dee dee. There's soon to be a soup for me. That's wild. um, finishing his. Yep, he bent over and. Is that an actual thing? I don't know why I have to just. If I just read the story nonstop, it won't sound weird. He bent over to stroke the fire beneath the pot and let out a loud noise of pain, rubbing the spot on his back that always ached. See, I stopped, and that could have ended really weirdly. The troll stood painfully and walked over to the stone shelf where he began to chop potatoes. Hey, at least he knows how to make good soup. I mean, potatoes? Hell yeah. One of the goblins had an idea. She whispered to her brother, "Follow my lead." The goblin stretched out in the water, floating and letting out sighs of contentment. "Ah," said one of the goblins, "this is the most relaxed I've ever been. My body feels so good. I think I could run 100 miles without stopping," said the second. The troll peered at them. They weren't supposed to be happy about being being in the cook pot, but they certainly looked like they were. "Troll," said the goblins, "if your back is hurting, you should try sitting in the water just for a little bit before it gets too hot." The troll stomped over. "But if I take you out, then you will escape, and there will be no soup for me." "Put us back in the sack," suggested the goblins. "We can't run away then." Then we can't run away. I mess up my words sometimes. It's fine. This made sense to the troll. The spot on his back that always ached was still bothering him, and the goblins couldn't go anywhere if they were trapped. So he stuffed the goblins back in the sack and climbed into the soup pot. He stretched out and let out a sigh of contentment. Meanwhile, the goblins threw themselves around in the sack until it began to swing. The troll was so relaxed he didn't even notice. The bag dropped onto the shelf where the troll had been, chopping potatoes, and the goblins pushed it up against the edge of the troll's knife, sawing a hole. Then they made a break for it. The troll finally noticed what they were doing and roared out in anger, but he was so relaxed that when he tried to chase them, he tumbled out of the cook pot and into the flames, catching his bushy eyebrows on fire. The goblins ran as fast as they could through the ancient and deep forest until they were back in their cave and safe in their beds. They vowed never to venture out into the ancient and deep forest late at night again, for they did not think they'd get so lucky as to trick the ice troll twice. And that is the story of how the crafty goblins met the ice troll and why they never did it again. That's crazy. Alright, guys, we're getting close. We got 3 more stories. Jesus Christ, y'all. Stop being little goblins. No, I'm kidding. Alright. Once upon a time, in a deep and ancient wood, there lived a muskrat. The muskrat was a lazy, cowardly creature who did little but lay around in the sun, cleaning his beautiful coat until it shine. Okay. One day, the muskrat found the crafty goblins playing King of the Mountains on his favorite rock. He was too cowardly to confront them directly, and so he retreated to a safe distance and then pinched a stone right at the hornet's nest hanging overhead. That's mean. One of the goblins saw him do it, but before she could say anything, the hornets emerged, furious, and chased the goblins away, stinging them. With the rock empty, the muskrat claimed his spot. When the goblins returned, they asked the muskrat, "Why did you do that?" "I don't know what you're talking about," he said, turning away, ignoring them. The goblins knew the muskrat cared for nothing but his coat, so they devised to steal it and ordered it. Isn't his coat his fur? I don't
know where this is going. As the muskrat lay in the sun, he spied the goblins something by. Their skin was covered in flecks of gold. Goblins, called the muskrat. Dear Lord. I need a moment. I'm fine. What happened to make your skin shine that way? When we were attacked by the hornets, we ran and ran until we found a pool by the glacier. We dove in and then came out this way. Would you show me this pool? Oh, wait. Would you show me this pool? I'm trying to sound like a snobby, like, lazy muskrat, but I don't think I know how to do that. I feel like he'd have, like, a deep voice, but like a I don't care vibe, you know? So just imagine that's what I sound like. And crafty goblins led the muskrat to the pool. The muskrat looked at the pool skeptical. It looks like a pool, he said. The goblins chuckled and shrugged. You don't have to jump in if you don't want to, but what do you lose if you try? And if it works, why you will be the most beautiful creature in the whole of the forest. With visions of his splendid coat in mind. Oh, is this how he ruined his coat? Is this like, because in the earlier story, when he emerged, he was disappointed to find that nothing had changed. Said one of the goblins. Maybe you'll have to be stung by the hornets first. Just like us. The muskrat hesitated because getting stung would be painful. Seeing his hesitation, the goblins added, if it works, you will be the most beautiful creature in the whole forest. The muskrat decided it was worth it, so he returned to the hornet's nest and pinched a stone right at it. The hornets emerged even more furious this time. They chased the muskrat, stinging him repeatedly until he jumped into the magic pool. The muskrat was disappointed to find that, once again, nothing had changed. I wonder if the magic only worked... Oh, wait, no, it's the goblins. God damn it. I wonder if the magic only worked for us, said one of the goblins. Would you like me to jump in with your coat? The muskrat hesitated. If it works, you will be the most beautiful creature in the whole forest. With visions of his splendid coat in mind, the muskrat agreed. He slipped it off and handed it to the goblins. Without his coat, the muskrat was pale and covered in scabbing welts. Instead of jumping in the pool, one of the goblins ran away with his coat, laughing. The other pushed Muskrat into the frigid pool, and as water splashed, the goblin in the gold flakes ran, revealing that they had only ever been painted on. The muskrat cried so pitiful and made sure a clamor that he awoke the Ice King, who came down to the forest to see what had happened. When the Ice King saw the muskrat, he laughed, only further infuriating the creature.
Tell me what happened,
said the Ice King. Both the muskrat and the goblins told their sides of the story, and the Ice King considered the case before him.
It is true that the muskrat is vain, and he thinks of nothing but himself,
concluded the Ice King.
But he needs something to keep him warm in the winter and the snow.
So the Ice King was decided. The muskrat would get his coat back, but it would be patchy and unkept. After that day, he became known as, and that is how the goblins tricked the muskrat into giving him his coat and how he got his name. That's crazy. Oh? Listening to things as I set up the bathroom. I was like, how are you liking your new place, by the way? I saw pictures on Discord. It looked beautiful from what I saw. Right? Was it Discord? I'm pretty sure. Oh. Hold on, guys. Who's that? Oh, is that you? Did you? Oh my gosh. You did. You evil, evil creature. I see what you mean. Cass, you are evil. Alright. Oh, no. No. I keep forgetting it's an actual game. Gosh dang it. Okay. Guys, we have 2 more stories to go. Okay. We're 2 hours in. It's cool. Unpacking is just... Yeah, I believe that. Slay, though. Slay. Is it, like, how many bedrooms is it? The moose teaches the goblins. Once upon a time, in a deep and ancient forest, the crafty goblins were hungry. This wasn't unusual. The goblins were always hungry, but today they were particularly hungry. They opened the wise princess's... My bad. Sorry. Cupboard to look for a snack, but all she had was small piles of nuts and berries and just one strip of dried fish. The goblins grabbed it all and gobbled it up, but they were still hungry. They went out into the woods to look for more to eat. First, they dropped by the small pond. The big frog was asleep, and beside the pond was a pile of insects she had caught for eating after she woke up. The goblins crept up to the pile, careful not to wake the big frog. As they got closer, she ribbited loudly, and they froze. But the big frog kept sleeping, so they grabbed up the pile of insects and gobbled it up. But they were still hungry. As they crept back into the woods, they found the moose watching them. Did you just steal the big frog's food? The goblins tried not to look guilty, but failed. She said we could have them, they cried. Oh, really? Asked the moose. Let's ask her. So Moose woke up Big Frog and asked, did you say the goblins could have your food? I'm trying to give it like a moose voice, you know, because they go like moo. Wait, do they even do that? Is that a cow thing, or is that mooses do that? So Moose woke up. The big frog looked at the goblins, who she knew were always hungry, and nodded. Yes, I did. Really? Asked the moose, surprised. The frog nodded and the moose sighed. You're all right, then, he said, and he had to let the goblins go. The next stop was the river. They watched as the old bear swatted at a leaping salmon, catching it definitely in his large paws. Wait, I wonder if you're... Alright. He lay it out upon a rock and left it to dry, lumbering into the woods to seek out some berries. The crafty goblins crept up to the rocks carefully in case Old Bear returned. Oh my god, sorry guys. I'm sorry. Reading does this to me. Not all the time. I just mean at nighttime specifically, because it is nighttime. It's 10:25. Okay. To dry blood. Yep, okay. Gobbled it up, but they were still hungry. As they crept back into the woods, the moose was once again waiting for them. Are you going to tell me? Old Bear said you could have that? Yes, replied the goblins. Old Bear ambled up at that moment, and Moose asked him, did you leave that fish for the goblins? Old Bear looked at the goblins, who he knew were always hungry, and nodded. I did. There we go. He said, really? Asked the moose. Really, said the old bear. After Moose left, Old Bear said to the goblins, be sure to tell the princess I was kind to you. And don't steal my fish. This man is still trying to get with the princess. That's wild. He's like, hey, put in a good word for me. The goblins, still hungry, went out looking for one more meal. They crept up into the muskrat ledge and began to climb inside. When they were dragging right back out, the moose dangled them by the seats of their pants and said, now I know Muskrat didn't tell you that you could eat his food because he blames you for his coat being ruined. Besides, he barely has enough food
for himself and doesn't share it with anyone. The goblins began to protest, but he shook his head and he set the goblins down and said, "Come with me." The goblins followed the moose to part of the river where it ran slow enough for them to walk into it safely. He gave them each a fishing line and said, "I'm going to teach you to fish, so that when you're hungry, you do not need to steal from the animals of the forest. It will be hard work, but it will be honest." What is my moose voice? My god. The crafty goblins were not against working hard. They were just hungry, and so they listened to the moose and soon pulled wiggling fish out of the river. They ate them up, finally. They were no longer hungry, and that is how taught them to fish. Okay, guys, we got one more story. Are you ready? The Mad Hunter gets his hand back. I don't like that story. Oh, wait. I'm scared. Once upon a time, in a deep and cold lake near the ancient forest, there lived an old seal who was a painful witch. After angering the Ice King, she had been bounded to the lake, allowing only to venture out when the moon was full and only looking like the old hag she truly was. For years she dreamed of vengeance, all alone within the deep lake amongst the corpses of her many previous victims. One night she awoke to see a black and hooded slaughterhouse clawing to reach a beautiful gown full of stones. The human had divided far deep into the lake that any land dweller should have been able to go. His tendency and fierceness impressed the moon hag, and she decided he would be wasted in her steeress of corpses. She used her magic to enspell him, allowing him to breathe underwater, but also binding him to her services. "You," she said, "will be the instrument of my release and my revenge. For you and I together will kill the Ice King." The Moon Hag had never heard of the Mad Hunter, and she did not know the power he wielded. She could only tell he was a hunter, and her lust for revenge blinded her to the threat he posed. She gifted him a hand of ice, which was not as nimble as a hand of flesh, but allowed him to serve her better than no hand at all. The Moon Hag spent years devising the perfect plan to kill the Ice King, and years more moving all the pieces into place to execute it. In the meantime, the Mad Hunter served her, guarding her chest of treasures and plotting his own plots. Finally, everything was prepared. The full moon rose, and the Moon Hag stepped on land, giddy at the thought she would never have to leave again if it did not please her. She brought the Mad Hunter to his post, a jagged peak of ice and stone from which he would loose the arrow that would slay the Ice King. Before she could go, he put forward a proposal. "Moon Hag," said the Mad Hunter, "if I grow back my missing hand, I would be certain to hit the Ice King with my arrow. We will have only one shot, and I would hate to miss. You're a powerful witch, so will you be able to craft ties to bind me to this place that I cannot break?" So you'll be okay. The Moon Hag considered it. "All right, I will grow back your hand and then bind you here with ties that will not break." She cast the spell, and the Mad Hunter's hand of ice was replaced with a hand of flesh. As the witch left to complete the next part of her plan, the Mad Hunter grinned wickedly in the moonlight. After a short time, the Moon Hag returned, luring the Ice King into the Mad Hunter's line of sight. What is this about, Moon Hag? Asked the Ice King. Many a long years have you bounded me to the lake, said the Moon Hag. Many a long years have I been alone in the dark that ends tonight. She cast a powerful spell that made the Ice King slow to react and then gave the signal. Mad Hunter! She cried. Let your arrow fly! Nothing happened. She twitched nervously. Mad Hunter! She growled. Let your arrow fly! Still nothing happened. The Ice King, meanwhile, was struggling towards her slowly, but furiously. The Moon Hag fled, running fast to the jagged peak of the ice and stood where her servant should have waited. But the peak was empty. The ties had been broken, and the Mad Hunter was gone. For in the end, he was the more powerful of the two, especially once he had two hands. When the Ice King finally caught the hag, his furious voice could be heard throughout the forest. For your wickedness, you will be eternally bound to the lake. You will no longer be allowed to leave, not even under the full moon. The old hag was imprisoned in the lake, and she never again tried to escape. This is how the Mad Hunter escaped the Moon Hag, and how he got his left hand back. Guys, we did it. We read all of the stories. It only took 2 hours. Okay, are you ready to actually play the game? Alright. Oh, wait. That's crazy. There we go.
Mom? Mom! Mom, where is it? What did you do with it?
What now?
I can't find my diary. I know you stole it. Give it back.
Sweetie, whatever I do, it's just for your benefit.
You read it, didn't you? You had no right to do that.
I have the right to do whatever I need to protect my little girl.
I'm not your girl. I hate you.
You will always be my little girl. And no matter how hard you fight me, I'll fight twice as hard to keep you safe.
Damn, that's crazy. Girl. Damn. So that happened. Ooh. Low-key forgot about that.
I don't know how I never saw it coming. She told me right to my face. She was willing to hurt me, to keep me from transitioning.
Oh, that's so depressing. I'm gonna cry.
Tyler, there is no way you could have known she'd go that far.
We're good. We're good people. We're good.
I
No.
want my diary back. Her room was the only place I didn't look.
Okay, but do you need to get it, like, now?
Girl, shut up!
My diary was important to me, Allison. Writing down my thoughts helped me realize who I am.
Well, then let's go find it.
Okay, there you go.
You think the room is still locked?
It always was.
Okay, guys, that little bookmark.
Going in there.
I know, but we'll have to eventually, and I need it back.
Okay, guys, that bookmark means that it's saved. I know it doesn't seem like we accomplished much, but I got to a second save point and I read all of the stupid, beautiful stories and cried over a beaver. So, I think I'm gonna end it here. It is 2 hours and 34 minutes. Also, just so you guys know, I upload my streams to YouTube, so if you miss anything, I also post it there.
Or at least this one. Not all of my streams, but I'm gonna be posting these on YouTube. Ooh, I'm sorry. This game, my heart. That little clip with his mom was very, very emotional. I'm scared, but yes, please. Anyway. Wow. Okay, It was good. Oh, this game is so amazing. I can't even express how much I love it. Okay, so I am probably not gonna stream again this week. I have art class tomorrow, and I'm gonna be cleaning my room probably about like all week until the weekend, which is I'm having a little nice partner sleepover with my partners, so I'll be kind of busy. At most, I might stream Saturday, possibly towards nighttime, like always. But if not, most likely Monday will be my next stream. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this. We will continue this my next stream. I love you all. Stay safe out there. Hope you have a good day or night, whatever time it is. Drink water, eat food. We will get through whatever rough patch is thrown at us. Gotta stick together, be positive. I love you guys.